All right, there we are in the upper left-hand side of the map. It is the Monster Zerg, and winner of a few of these Soup slash formerly Afrika events, it is Rogue.
Ooh, extractor tricking here, and in the bottom right, it is Cure. So Rogue made an extractor, made a drone, canceled the extractor. Now he's got 15 supply to 14 for, I want to say, a 15 hatch opening here, getting a hatch down super duper fast. Because 275 minerals gets you a hatch instead of 300 these days.
Yeah,
Definitely
very cool to see Rogue making use of that. And then actually going for a second extractor trick to, I believe,
back to 15. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, very cool.
Huh. Well,
So I guess
maybe it's
pool,
like a 15, yeah, 15 pool perhaps. Yeah, this timing works out pretty well for a 15 pool. Yep, so 15 hatch, 15 pool, Overlord. And then where are you going to take your gas here, Rogue? Maybe it's maybe it's going to be a gasless opening here with just slowlings and queens, which can work against a Terran player.
Yeah.
Because, you know, queens can shoo away Reapers, and you don't need your gas to chase them down, per se, so... We'll see. We'll see what Rogue does here. Maybe an early third and delayed gas. Yeah, still not an extractor here. So Cure is going to go ahead and send a Reaper across and see that there is no gas here from Rogue and say, what are we doing here?
Yeah, not just a Reaper, but an SCV before the Reaper. So Cure wants to make sure there's no sneaky 12 pool shenanigans or anything like that, trying to snipe his command center.
As always.
So a very respectable scout by the Terran. This SCV for Cure will also allow him to block Rogue's third base, so it serves a dual purpose to get that scout off and then just be a big nuisance for the Zerg. This isn't something that Zerg has to put up with every game, so it's not quite as clear how you handle something like this. It's kind of map dependent as well, whether Zerg will just want to go and try and take another base. But probably not something that Rogue wants to do on Abyssal Reef, and something that he definitely doesn't want to do is lose a drone, which did just happen, so that is great start for Cure.
Yeah, and that's the risk of going for this super duper late gas in a TvZ. The risk of getting your third blocked here. KDA charge, knocking the queen back again here, and the drone's life is in danger here, man.
Oh, this is such a nuisance for the Zerg to put up with, so it's really good to see the fact that Kira is putting Rogue through his paces in this series already.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 56 seconds on that third expansion is a lot later than Rogue would like it to be.
Oh, I mean, the Terran's third is before the Zerg's.
Yeah, never good. Sub 3 minute third, as is tradition these days. The Rogue gets up and then gets down because there's a queen there. But now we have gas here from Rogue. And what are we going to do with the first 100 gas here? I want to say metabolic boost just to be safe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is Rogue, so I wouldn't put like a quick lair or something past him.
Yeah, definitely not. And based on this Roach Warren, this feels like I think he wants to skip Speedlings on some level and just get Roaches out.
I
let's
really
see if he
like
goes
that
for
decision.
a lair here instead. Yeah, totally. I think that would be great here.
Yeah, because like it's Abyssal Reef, it's a map with choke points, so like Ling run-bys aren't the best on a map like this, so playing a more Roach-based style can be really nice. And yeah, so that's just really cool that Rogue's doing that.
I think he's just saving up gas to make Roaches here. Ooh, Cloak Banshee on the other side of it from Cure. Just fired up that Cloak. Let's go.
Yeah, look at that.
That's pretty good against Roach.
5 seemingly safety Roaches so far.
Yeah, still not making a lair.
Yeah, and then he just fires up another 7 drones. So those are indeed just safety Roaches to keep him safe from the early Hellions and Reaper of Cure. As that's how you can tell what a Zerg's intentions are. If they make just a few Roaches around the 40 drone mark, then you know that they're just going to be trying to macro up and use those Roaches to be safe. We've got this nice wall for Rogue up at his front door. Behind this, though, Cure is set. He has that third command center already landed, stim pack on the way, multiple racks going up. He is a happy Terran who's got away with that quick third command center.
Yeah, as you usually do. Not much a Zerg can do to shut that thing down necessarily, especially because they can lift against Roach and Ling attacks. So we've got a 4th hatchery coming up here from Rogue. We've got the lair almost finished here. Cloaking field is almost done, but there are spores inside the mineral lines. Rogue is being careful with that, which is good to see. And there you go. Roach out on the map. Banshee gonna kill ya. So Roach play here, especially against Banshees, is very, very hard to do.
Yeah, those Banshees can be worth their weight in gold, particularly against a player like Rogue who likes to stay on Roaches for maybe a little bit longer than some other Zergs. They can really help defend against and counterattacks and then just dissuade them in the first place with the Roaches. For now, though, Kier is just looking to poke the back of this natural base as Rogue gets up a infestation pit. We've got 1-1 on the way for the Zerg, so it looks like it will be heavy into the Roaches by Rogue.
I don't know about that. There's multiple Banshees out with cloak capability, and they can take down drones one volley. Well, 2 volleys with 2 Banshees. Can't take down a drone with a single volley. Looks like a single volley here. Okay, so we're out of energy on that Banshee. Hellions burning down creep tumors here, and Rogue has his hands full with this harass, man.
Yeah, Kier playing a standard Terran opener and playing it pretty darn well as he's getting a good number of drones with the Banshees. Looks like he may lose one, but he'll get a queen in exchange, so that's not awful. Another queen for Rogue does come in to push that away. However, it is good for Rogue, the fact that there's one less Banshee that will potentially be shooting his Roaches if he ever goes to attack on the other side of the map. Kier has powered up to a very scary Terran push. He's got 2 tanks and quite a few Marines. One of the Marines is an imposter, though, as Rogue sees exactly what's coming his way and fires up 3 Ravagers. As a result, that is enough to one-shot a tank, so pay close attention to that.
Yeah, I can't believe he hasn't spotted that changeling. Are you serious?
It blends in perfectly because he doesn't actually have combat shield
Combat
yet.
shield, that's right. Combat shield makes it easy to tell, but there's no combat shield yet. So pushing up Roaches, and nice concave here for the Roaches and Ravagers. Not quite. There we go. Taking down the tank with Corrosive Bile is an excellent job here. Roaches and Ravagers, man, are pretty good in the early game right now. And there we go. Tank down, and I think it's a retreat here from Cure.
Beautifully done by Rogue. The timings just worked out quite nice for him. He had his 1-1 upgrades done, or at least his +1 Carapace done at the start of that fight, whereas Kier's 1-1 still has almost a minute to go. So things are really looking good for Rogue. He's already up at 87 drones. You just look away from this guy for 90. A minute, and he's got this ridiculous economy. He's already going into Vipers, getting out Seismic Spines for Lurkers down the road. And Kier does go for a 4th base on location, but like he's going to be up against a 5-base Rogue, which is a little scary.
Absolutely. That's incredible stuff, man.
A few Overlords do go down to Kier, trying to get whatever damage he can get with a drop. Going to have to kill off that Spores that starts shooting his Medivacs. Rogue doesn't have a clear answer to these Marines jumping around in Medivacs, and he won't until these Vipers sort of get out and get energized. We've got Kier now going for multi-prong pushes, stimming towards the 3rd of the Zerg. It's not that far of a distance.
Yeah, not bad here. Definitely not, and just a great response here from Rogue, forcing a liftoff and a boost into the main base of our Zerg player. There are no defenses here, but because of creep, we can get here pretty darn fast. Taking down what? What are you targeting here? Taking down an extractor, good job. And then picking up and boosting out once the army shows up. So Hydralisks, more Lurkers, more Adaptive Talons, more speed. Rogue is maxed out. Kier's at 160 supply, and I think we're going to see a push in a couple of seconds here.
Yeah, you can kind of just sum up Rogue's play with more as he's just getting everything out. There's those Vipers. Not the most effective way to shut down Medivacs, but they get the job done, as that's a guaranteed kill on that one. Now these 2 Medivacs in the upper left know they could be in a bit of trouble. And Kier behind this is looking to go for a push at the front of the Zerg, but there's Lurkers with Spore Crawlers helping cover them.
Yeah, man, I like adding more siege tanks in. They're probably going to get abducted, would be my guess, by these Vipers. Yeah, there's one. There's an abduct we didn't quite see, but the tank was in a weird place, so it got abducted. And yeah, good spread out on these tanks. You can't cover multiple tanks with a blinding cloud, which is an important part when there are Vipers on the other side of the map as a Terran player. Back inside the main base is Cure with 1-1 and Combat Shield and Stim. The tank count is down to 1 here at the front. 2 drones went down. Oh, there we go. Found the drones. We got 6 drones and 7 drones, and the front is busted here, but just when there were reinforcements coming up, man.
Yeah.
Cure, just a little bit too late there.
Yeah, the reinforcements were a little late, and then Rogue's setup on that front was quite nice. Spores and Lurkers is pretty difficult for Terran to push on into, and so great job by Rogue defending everything. Cure is trying to find damage, and he is slowly heading into that late game. 4th base is an orbital command. I love that, not making that a planetary, realizing he needs all the money he can get to try and keep up with Rogue. That's one of the changes Terrans can make to their play. There's that sensor tower at the 4th, which is going to reveal that Rogue is going for a counterattack. He finds 2 medivacs, gets one of them.
Yeah, and he's on the push out here, maxed out, developing something of a bank as well. Adrenals coming in, +3/+3 for the Roaches and Ravagers is also looking good, as well as the Lurkers. But man, Lurkers can be sniped out fairly easy by Ghost. So Nidus is coming up inside Cure's main base, and I think he spotted it, and it's going to go down before it erupts.
Rogue is a big fan of the Nidus play. He's been doing a great job just getting to his late game Zerg. He's probably one of the Zergs that is most comfortable with late game play, as he goes for his 14 Overseers. Something that Rogue really likes to use and abuse.
Yeah, so it's looking absolutely tough here from Cure. I mean, look, he's maxed out. He's got 117 army supply. He's got Ghosts. He's got Liberators. He's got 3/3 kicking in here. But man, when Rogue gets into full macro mode like this, it is so tough to take him down. He has 95 workers, which is probably too many.
Yeah.
But we will see. We'll see if he kills some of his own drones to make more army, but not right now.
Yeah, he might just be going for this constant trading style, as he's just going to be sending in mass changelings towards his opponent's base.
There we go.
Yeah, it is just ridiculous. Rogue is so darn good at late game TvZ that, like, the Terran can be maxed out, 200 supply, turtling with planetaries, and somehow Rogue still bullies them. It's just... it's just
yeah,
Rogue,
you think
man.
you're safe turtle tearing? Not if Rogue's around.
Yeah. Rogue does establish up a 6th base. That's something we will want to keep eyes on. But as he kind of sets up to contain the Terran a little bit through his constant aggression, it will be easier for him to expand. So we'll keep eyes on whether Kier is able to move out. Although he's not really trying right now, seeing as how there's those Vipers, which will punish any sort of harassment that he goes for. And there's the Changeling. Trickle
Your
started.
favorite part of this matchup right now
gosh.
is this move right here.
It really is. It's just... oh.
Just blocking off reinforcements, getting vision for Nidus worms. And Liquid Cure here does not see it. He doesn't see it yet. But once Nidus worms start coming... oh, he does! He is sniping down the changelings inside his main base, but more are here.
That's the problem. You can see them, but it just becomes such a task of trying to deal with them. Raising the depots is one way you can kind of keep those out. Oh, looks like a few did make it into the main base, as the Nidus does get called on in. Marines will move to deal with it.
Yeah, these Niduses are not even getting close to getting up here. Cure's really on top of it. He knows what he's dealing with. He's done this before.
I mean, the Overseer count is growing for the Zerg, though. Rogue is taking all the bases on the map, it seems. And I'm not really sure what Cure is waiting for in a situation like this.
I mean, I don't know. It's just tough to move out is the problem.
It really is. The Terran does have to have some sort of goal. Like, Cure's maxed out. He's got a bank. So what is his plan to win this game? Is it going to be to sit here?
Yeah, it cannot be to let Rogue take every other base on this map right now, as he's doing. As he's expanding down the left side and down the right side, and Cure's just like, dude, that is a lot of Overseers in Oversight mode. Wow.
That is currently 37 Overseers.
All stacked up and doing Oversight mode at the same time in the same place.
That is unholy. That is a lot of
It really
eyes.
is. Yeah, way too many eyes.
Okay, Kier is trying to move out to secure up a 6 base. Now, that will definitely be something he's got to do, but it does make life more difficult as the Terran, as, I mean, it means you've got more ground to try and defend against Rogue. We do see Rogue getting out +1 melee, as he does like his Banelings, his Lings, to go for those quick run-bys on the Terran. And yeah, like, Kier's just sitting back. He's not making anything eventful. He just says, yeah, I'll just sit. I'll wait.
We're good. We can drag this out forever if you want. No problem, sir. What is going on? Here is just not making a decision.
I'm really curious if, like, I mean, I know we had some big tournaments lately, like the Pig Cup, which we did have Cyril and Clem playing. Like, does Cyril do the shenanigans, or is this just Rogue?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen Cyril do it. That doesn't mean he's not, but man.
Kier goes for a bit of a push into the base of his opponent. Rogue has the magic eraser, though. A ton of Banelings that just come on in and get some terrible connections, but they'll be able to clean this up. While this is going on, the Terran loses 1 base, gonna be 2 bases, with these Lurker Spines taking out that extra planetary. And all of a sudden, this counterattack needs to have gotten a lot more damage done, but it's not. And Kira's just dying, I guess?
I mean, to simplify it, yeah. I think that's a accurate way to express what's going on here. He's just dying.
Does the Terran need to build battle cruisers or something in a situation like this?
I guess. I mean, I don't. That's the problem is that right now Rogue has so much money and so much time. He can just make corruptors to counter him. Like,
he can.
It's just too much.
Okay.
At this point, I don't think it's doable. Like doing it earlier, maybe.
Yeah, like it would be a little late. I'm just wondering because it's like clearly sitting with tanks and liberators doesn't work when you do this against Rogue. We've seen him kill quite a few Terrans this way.
Right.
And please scan, Kier. He's busy
Kier,
getting bullied
buddy.
all over the place. There's the scan.
He's and death to lurkers by fire. Very nice.
Yeah, white hot fire. The problem for the Terran is though that he is completely mined out of his natural. 3rd is almost gone. He got pushed off his 4th and his 5th base, so he's having to reestablish bases there. Rogue is now going for Ling run-bys and has all the money in the world. He's now going to set his sights on the Terran's 6th base, and I'm not sure there's anything that Kier can do at all to stop this.
I like the 30 overseers being like, hey, is there anything cloaked over here? No, cool. Excellent job. Coming in and responding with the Liberators, countering them with Parasitic Bomb, because they did siege up a little bit too close to each other, and Hydralisks burn it out. So 40 supply down is Cure here with a 100 mineral bank on Abyssal Reef against Rogue, who has a 3,000 mineral bank. Now he's firing up 14 Corruptors is Rogue. We've got Changelings inside the main base.
Yeah.
Cure needs to respond to this, and yeah, just I think we just need to go to the next game at this point. We will see.
Thinking about it a little bit, I do remember we did have Bunny try and make battle cruisers against Rogue on this map, I think it was. Maybe it was a different map. They all died, yeah.
He got sniffed out, yeah, and then immediately died.
He made like a terrible teleport or something and lost them all.
Uh-huh.
So like we haven't seen a Terran try them and not be silly with the battle cruisers, so maybe they could work. Liberators need a scan to reveal the lurkers, but it is not forthcoming as Rogue is busy forthcoming towards the 4th of the Terran. Corruptors helping target down the Liberators. There is Mass Ghost to snipe the heck out of these Corruptors, so they will be pushed back. The problem is there was never a scan dropped in the main to kill off these lurkers, so a lot of production gets disrupted.
Orbital. How did his orbital die to lurkers?
I don't know. Lurkers deal so much damage.
I know, but it's not like they killed it immediately. There was some time
it's
there.
It's true. There definitely was time for a scan.
Man.
Okay.
Another knight is coming up inside the natural base of Cure. Cure says enough is enough. Let's get out here. Let's clear some creep tumors. Here comes everything. Run! Abandon the Liberators to death. Don't take Baneling shots.
I mean, that was a pretty good move by Cure. Now, Rogue has a ridiculous amount of his supply in corruptors. Like, his ground army is basically non-existent. Cure, do not go home. You need to keep pushing. Keep pushing. Just keep doing it.
He's doing it. He's pushing out again. He needs to clear these tumors out as well as he can. Man, Rogue's got so many bases. I don't think he even cares if he loses like 2 or 3 bases here.
Oh, no. He definitely can afford to take a lot of damage, but going home is not the answer for Kier. He is being pushed away by all these Banelings, though, and the Changelings are going for the block to lock the Terran bio in. Rogue is such a dirty, dirty killer Zerg, man.
Oh, no.
That's the hockey. There we are. I don't even know what to say.
Wow. I mean, it's one thing, you know, to get blocked by Zerglings so Banelings can crash into your bio. But, man, being blocked by Changelings so that Banelings can crash into your bio, that hurts, man. Wow. What a crazy, crazy killer move there from Rogue to stomp it out at 20 minutes and 59 seconds. All right, Cure, what are we going to do in game number 2 here against Rogue? How are we going to change this up? Are we going to try to go proxy in game 2 on ley lines? Are we going to try to maybe not be as turtley? Maybe a few more drops would be nice? Possibly.
I don't know, man.
Laughing Games has no answers at all here. Understandable.
I really don't. It's like Rogue seems to have solved TvZ. Like, we've seen him kill Beyond, Bunny, and now Cure with this late game stuff.
How map dependent is it, though?
I think it's definitely, like, partially map dependent.
Because we see it on Abyssal Reef a lot.
Oh, yeah. Like, that was Rogue's map pick, and he played exactly how he wanted to. So.
Right.
All right, here we are in the bottom left. It's Liquid Cure.
And in the top right, it's our guy, Rogue.
Yeah, thanks so much to everyone for tuning into this event. This is the Soup Starcraft Global number 16. It is our bi-weekly pro match that we have here, and it is just always a blast. And yeah, just let everyone know what you're up to. Click the follow button on the stream if you haven't made a Soup account already. Go ahead and do so. Trying to get as many people out for these events as we can.
All right, good. Got double racks opening here.
Yeah, gonna be a Reaper opening from Cure.
Yeah, there we go. Got the gas. Everything's fine. Try to get some pressure.
Ooh, a third Rax. This isn't your, I'm gonna make 3 Reapers and then transition. This is the, I want to get some serious damage done and hopefully catch my opponent off guard opening. So, very exciting.
Yeah, maybe so. I'm down with it. I'm down with mixing it up, changing what happened last game, because last game was not how you wanted that to end, Kira. I am pretty darn sure about that. Whew. So yeah, a lot of Reapers coming in here versus Rogue. Is he opening gasless again? No, he does have a gas. So he should have speed for his Lings to help against the many, many Reapers that are going to show up here.
Yeah.
And we're making 2 queens at a time. That's about it. That's all you need at this point.
Yeah, and Rogue has no idea that this is coming his way. He didn't even send an Overlord to check the door, so he's got no idea that this is multi-racks by Cure, and he won't until he sees the second Reaper, which isn't going to be for a while. Like, Rogue is busy trying to get up a third base, but he's probably going to have to cancel that, as this Reaper number is going to snowball incredibly quickly. There has been no Roachworn, no Spine, no extra Queens fired up by Rogue. He has been so greedy in the face of this, and Cure may just be able to get what he wanted with this opening. We'll see.
Yeah, and Reapers aren't good against buildings, but once you get more and more Reapers, suddenly that damage adds up. And suddenly you can start killing stuff you couldn't before with one of them. So look at this. We are actually taking down a hatchery with 3 Reapers here. A 4th Reaper shows up, adding KD8 charges, DPS to this. And I think it's going to be a cancel here from Rogue. Wow, excellent, excellent, excellent opening here from Cure, man.
Yeah.
Trying to block up the Reaper hop-up spot inside the main base with slow lings. Metabolic boost is 12 seconds away, but it's a little bit too far away for Rogue here. The Queen pops out at just the right time. We've got Queens chasing, and it's a 2-base to a 2-baser. Well, look, Cure's second is not quite ready yet, but man, it is an excellent, excellent place here for our guy Cure.
Yeah. He forced a ton of lings out of Rogue that aren't going to be super useful because the Reapers, they're a great defensive unit as long as they're kept behind the wall. And then, yeah, it's an easy transition for the Terran from this point. Now, was it catastrophic damage canceling the Zerg's third? I mean,
No.
it puts the Zerg in a bit of an uncomfortable spot, but like, it's 8 Reapers. That is not cheap.
No, it's not. And they do kind of lose their ability and their usability here as time goes on. But I don't know, being active with like, you know, killing a couple lings there. Hey, that's some damage. We got it.
Yeah. Rogue just had his lings a little bit too low on the ramp, so Kier saw them before he went up. Otherwise, maybe it could have been an ambush. He's now trying to bully these lings, saying, yeah, try and surround me. I'll throw down grenades and blast you guys to space.
Literally, too. Zergs in space. Zergs can survive on space platforms, so I think that wouldn't kill them, but it would send them away, so that's good enough.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got a Roach Warren here finishing up here from Rogue. We've got Stimmin +1 here finishing up from our guy Cure. And a mixture of Marines and Reapers pushing out. Yeah, taking down an Overlord. Not supply blocking Rogue, but that hurts a lot, especially at this point in the game. We've got Lings kind of sharking around, seeing, is Cure actually moving out now, or just kind of sharking around his side of the map? And he is. He's moving out, but Rogue does not see this. He's got a lot of vision out on the map, but he doesn't see it. And the wall is excellent there. 3 Marines pop out just at the right time here. Cure marching across the map. Again, Rogue has no idea where this is. He's sending roaches and queens to every base just to make sure that we can defend once this push shows up. And here it is, man. Taking down creep tumors. Roaches are an excellent idea here. And oh no, a surround with the lings and a little bit slippery there are these Marines. Excellent job getting out of there, man. That could have been a surround and a kill, but no, Cure's micro was on point.
Yeah, that was a pretty quick reaction by the Terran. Really well done. Rogue, I mean, that was a nice sandwich set up by him, but just roaches are a little too slow off a creep to really pursue that. And now the Zerg has got to use his queens to transfuse these roaches against all the damage that is being output by this stimmed Terran bio. Rogue, though, is doing a good job of holding on. He's getting up spores for extra defense in the main, getting up his lair, squeezing out a good number of drones. The 4th base is what will be his next target.
Absolutely. That's what he's got to go for next here. But for now, we're just layering, roaching, ravaging, making overlords. Combat shield finishing up here momentarily from Cure. Got his tanks out. We'll see. They didn't do very well in the last game against the Ravagers, which already exist. So we'll see how much better they do here. Roaches, yeah, trying to get inside. It's just tough, man. You got to run over creep, dude. I mean, you just got to run over creep to get inside that main base, which is why he's killing these tumors. But now there's a hatchery providing creep there, and this is just annoying here. He's being aggressive. Drops are going to be good. The drops are pretty good, I thought, in game number 1, because there's not a Spire built here by Rogue in the first 10 minutes. He got a Spire eventually, but he didn't have it for the early aggression from Cure, so we'll see if he tries that again.
Cure hasn't started up a 3rd base, or if he did, he canceled it, but I don't think he did. So he's going for a 2-base play against Rogue. He's saying, screw the late game after what happened to him in the previous match, and is just going to be trying to end this one early with a big Terran bio-tank move out. He's got Marauders, he's got tanks, Marines with combat shield, and +1. He's going for the throat.
We'll see how it works out for him, man. Corrosive Biles, almost taking out a medevac there. Gross. Let's not let that happen to start this thing off. That's a bad omen. Glial Reconstitution isn't quite here yet for the roaches, but it's okay. We're not really running at this point.
Yeah.
Not as much. Charging up the ramp, though. Ground Carapace is not done from Rogue.
No, it isn't.
So his roaches are squishier than he'd like them to be right now. Plus, they're slower. As, again, Glial Reconstitution finishing up here soon. 16 roaches getting fired up.
Yeah. That is a lot of roaches. Rogue just needs time.
Yeah, he's just buying the time. I don't think he has enough time for that +1 ground carapace armor to finish up at all. Yeah, Siege Tank's going to get set up between cutting Rogue off from this third base. But now going for it. Nice concave. He's got the speed on the roaches. A lot of Siege Tank hits on the backside, though. I don't know if Rogue's going to be able to handle this. 84 to 40 supply. I think Cure might have busted it.
Wow, well done by Cure. Making a 2-base play work in 2025.
Certainly did help that he was able to kill and cancel that third base of Rogues, but wow, what a great finish without a doubt. Cure is not going to get swept today. He's not going to go home quiet whatsoever. Let's see how he does here in game number 3. He's got to have a little bit of a pep in his step now for that next game. Somicron calling out a GG, as he should. That was well executed by Cure. And yeah, the fact that that +1 ground carapace for the roaches and ravagers are not done yet, it seems like a small thing, but it's so important when those little 2-base timing pushes show up. If you don't have that carapace upgrade, those roaches die so fast, as we saw, and once those are gone, that's the core of your army and your toast. So GG, man. We'll see how Rogue does here to kind of come back from that terrible, terrible position that he found himself in game 2. Still remembers game 1, feeling good about that, but let's go. Yeah, looks like everyone's ready to rock. Moving into King's Cove, the ladder edition for game numero 3. But yeah, hit that like button here on the stream. Make a Soup Live account. Subscribe to Laugh-In Games.
Yeah.
We're doing this a lot.
Yeah, every 2 weeks for the past 7 years, we've been watching some of the best players play Starcraft. It's pretty good. And all right. In the upper left, tying up the series, it's Cure.
And in the bottom right, tying up the series, sort of, it's Rogue.
he helped
lend a hand, tie up the series. Yeah.
Couldn't have done it without you, man.
Yeah, this map is very similar to Abyssal Reef. I'm wondering if we're going to see maybe a repeat of game 1 here, where Cure's just like, I can get 4 bases, it's so easy. Even 5 bases, and Rogue's like, all right, cool, man. You want to go that, go that big, go that turtley? We can do the same thing we did on Abyssal Reef if you're down with that. But unfortunately, Cure is not interested in turtling at all.
Yep,
Instead, we got the proxy Rax.
Cure had his 1 macro game against Rogue and said, screw that. And I just love it. He's not going for a 2 Rax. Like he did in the previous match, opening with all those Reapers. He committed hard, and now he's committing hard to a proxy 3 Rax against Rogue, who, well, was a little lax on his scouting last game. And look at this position for these Racks, too. Drones can't even get to the other side of this if this was scouted.
That's true. That's some beautiful positioning. I love it.
Okay, this
but
drone.
Hang on.
Oh, is it going to pass through that? Rogue is clicking.
Yes.
Okay, there actually is a spot.
What? How did he know? Rogue mean.
Yeah, Rogue is very mean. However, he can't delay this really because there is enough SCVs to make sure those racks are constantly being built. So the racks will go up. More drones did get pulled by Rogue to try and shut this down to prevent any bunker going up. If he can delay that third, that would be nice. And he's actually just going for the Marine that popped out. 6 drones chasing that Marine. He's got 6 waiting to chase down the next one. Okay, there's 3 on that Marine. Rogue's drones are on a mission.
And they're succeeding pretty effectively here, too. Unupgraded Marines are they're slower than drones.
Oh my gosh,
drones
this is
hit
like
them
a horror
hard.
movie.
It is, but my goodness. The power armor aspect of this always makes me laugh. It's like, these are dudes in power armor. And the drones are just like, nom, nom, just chewing through it.
The drones with their jaws of life, basically. Cure has been able to build up to a decent Marine count. 5 is a formidable threat, and the Zerg has lost a lot of mining time during this, make no mistake. I mean, he's had so many drones pulled. He's going to see the transferring SCVs. Rogue is in a comical position right now. He's got 12 drones out on the map.
Yeah, the good news for him is that there's no bunker because there was no time for a bunker to get placed in a really dangerous spot. You're sending some SCVs home.
Yeah, well, it was either that or they had to fight the drones of Rogue, I guess. Yeah, Kier is zoning the drones of Rogue out as well, although Rogue may try and use them in a surround. He's just been pumping these slowlings to try and defend against this, and that's exactly what he's gonna do. Rogue makes the best of any situation, and now he's surrounding those Marines. The drones do eventually path to the natural, and slowlings are, well, slow, so these Marines can kite for days against them.
Yeah, but the Marines are dying. I don't know. He didn't quite get that surround that he wanted. Again, the Marines were slippery. A creep tumor could be pretty nice here. A spine might be nice as well, as Kier's continuing to make Marines here. A little bit of static defense would not be too bad, but so far it's just slowlings, and behold, the boys have been pulled.
Yeah, this gets seen by Rogue, though, so he knows that it's just all on this defense. However, he's going to be hit with a very critical supply block, as he has not started up another Overlord, so his production will have ceased. He's getting ready to pull more drones to defend this against the Marines of Kier. That Spinecrawler building is very important, but eventually this supply block is going to hurt the production of Rogue. Like, he isn't making any more units right now. It's all on the line with this defense. What wins? 22 SCVs, 15 Marines against 22 drones, 20 Lings.
Yeah, the positioning, getting inside this little choke here. The Marines are just pouring in damage from down on that low ground through the choke. That's incredible stuff.
Oh,
yeah,
they've
got a spine. Yeah, moving up, which means it can't attack while it's moving, but the Lings are buying time for it to plant itself. More drones are dying, and Rogue! That looks like a GG.
Yeah, that's a GG. I think that's Rogue accepting his fate. Oh, man, Kier.
Kier says, late game against Rogue is for the birds, man. I am straight up going to go early game against him. 2 base attacks. Proxy racks that get scouted. What do we say about Rogue? He can always hold attacks, even if he doesn't scout the proxy. He scouted that one perfectly, and Kier was able to pull it off anyway. Incredible micro.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff there from Kier. That was tons of fun.
I think that supply block really hurt Rogue. But then just, yeah, maybe he needed more spines or something. He made drones thinking it was over when it was in fact not over. And yeah, well done.
Yeah, incredible stuff. SCVs, again, just slipping out of that full surround. Like, that's what we like to see from a Terran, is when the Marines don't get surrounded by the Lings and the drones. And they can just kind of slip out a little bit, keep firing as they're not taking hits, and they can stutter step and avoid taking damage. It's so good. It's so tricky to pull off here, but the best Terrans can do it, and Kier's definitely one of the best Terrans, dude. He won a GSL a couple of years ago, so I mean, he's got the talent. And he's showing it here, too, going up 2-1 in a best-of-5 against Rogue. I didn't expect this beginning, to be sure, especially after Game 1. Goodness.
Yeah, thanks so much to everyone for tuning in to this event, the Soup Starcraft Global number 16. It is great to have you all here as we get on into game number 4 on El Dorado.
Yeah, bottom left of El Dorado. We've got our blue Terran hits here.
And in the bottom right, it is the Red Zerg Rogue, who's been unable to defend against the aggression of Kier 2 games in a row now. So great pivot by Kier in this series.
Yep, Stractor Trickin for a 15 hatch again. Also hello to Ice, Chingu, and Humble Hefe in channels, as well as Forever SC2 Love for being here for StarCraft, Super StarCraft Global number 16. All right, 2-player map as they all are in StarCraft 2 these days, but it's a bottom left versus a bottom right, which makes it extremely fun and interesting to see how the players adapt being on the same side of the map as each other here at the bottom. Or on the right side is also a fun way to do it, but reminds me of Golden Wall. This map has not quite had the same number of amazing games on it as Golden Wall did, but that's okay. Not everyone can live up to your heroes.
Yeah, El Dorado is a great map, though it's really out there and just cool design to give us unique games. That is one of the things that map designers need to do, and whoever decides what maps go in the ladder needs to do is just tell pro players to shut up and we're going to have wonky maps, deal with it. So
I like it.
yeah, let's see. Reaper on the way. Command center on the way.
So far, checking for proxies as Rogue, not finding anything, and that is because there's nothing to find this time around. Reaper cruising into the main base, doing a little jumpity jetpack. And KD8 shard. Queen pops out. Wow, it's going to be a really scary thing, man. You're a Reaper, you're shooting at drones, and all of a sudden this giant queen comes out of an egg right in your face, and it's like, raw. Jump scare.
Man, we really need more, like, Starcraft horror. Like,
We do. Like the secret base stuff, or secret level stuff that Amazon's been doing, just these shorts about kind of video games.
oh, okay. Have
Or
they been doing
little
that?
fandoms. Yeah, I watched the Warhammer one, and it was crazy
Oh,
good.
cool.
So they could do like a little 10-minute StarCraft short. I think it would be great. I think it'd be killer.
Yeah.
Little spooky one.
Oh, yeah. Well, like, you know the that cinematic in like the first StarCraft game where they're like
Yeah.
exploring the
space station.
Yeah. And then like
Yep.
the Hydra pops out or whatever, and it's just like that could literally be
Perfect.
like an alien movie with
Yeah,
StarCraft.
I mean,
stuff.
it's definitely heavily inspired by Alien.
What
So,
year
yeah.
did the first Alien movie come out? Like early
Oh,
90s?
like
or
80,
80
81.
something? Wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, the first Alien is old. Here, first Alien movie was 79.
Holy
79.
cow.
Yeah, older than both of us. So yeah, a lot of media has been inspired by Alien, and not the least of which is that cinematic from StarCraft.
Yeah.
Finding an Overlord to snipe. It's always nice. Killing that first Overlord out on the map. The Queens are going to try to... And they do. They go off creep to save it, but they save it.
The audacity of this Terran to move out all the way across the map with 2 Marines and 2 Hellions. That shows a very good understanding of the game. We do have Rogue now. Already up to 48 drones with his third base churning units out. He does get hit with a very hard supply block, though. Oh, man, and that is... Okay, now he fires up the Overlords, but, like, it's a little late. Like, Rogue getting supply blocked heavily in the previous match and now getting supply blocked in this one.
Good hard wall here. Yeah, good luck, man. He wanted to get in there so bad. Not allowed, says Roach.
The bouncer Roach.
Omicron says there's an alien reference in the Warhammer book we read this week. I think I recognize that. There's a couple references to pop culture in there. And once again, people taking the backside of this gold base. I mean, it makes sense if you're already back here, especially. But it just looks so wonky every time they do it.
It does.
Hey, look, a Banshee is killing my roaches. Just like, you're on the backside of the mineral line. Come on. Just put it on the other side. But I
Well,
get it. All the creeps down here. There's hatcheries down here.
Yeah, the pathing, the pesky minerals blocking it on that side.
Yep.
Banshee is being a bit of a
Oh.
nuisance.
Doesn't get that tumor, though. That sucks.
Creep spread is very important, as these guys have both taken the backside of that gold base.
Yeah, Cure's a little faster on it, too. He's got workers on it already. Ye old ground carapace upgrade is coming in from Rogue here. Will it be ready to go by the time the attack comes from Cure? And I think based on this opening, yeah. I think he's going to be okay with it.
Oh man,
Go
this
great
is
timing on those drones.
This is gonna be scary though. Like Zerg, if they've got the money and the larva, they can just make as many units as they want. Whereas Terran, it does take time to get the extra production up from something like a gold base to support it. And Rogue is looking to make use of this as he fires up 2 Baneling nests, makes a ton of lings, a Ravager on the way. He's just going to be pumping out a lot of stuff here.
100%. This is looking tough. Double Baneling nest? What?
Yeah, that's definitely a little mistake.
100%.
Maybe one was meant to be a Hydra Den, as a Hydra Den does get thrown up.
Yeah, whatever. Doesn't hurt too much, I guess. But yeah, so far, going to be Hydras, going to be Roaches, going to be Ravagers, going to be Lings, going to be Banelings, Centrifugal Hooks getting fired up here too for the Banes, tanks being added in. We'll see how they do. Last game, 2 games ago, they were great. First game, they were kind of bad. So we'll see how their effectiveness is. It depends a lot on how Rogue is able to corrosive bile them down. He only has 2 Ravagers here. I imagine he'll get a 3rd. 2 Ravagers is not really anything.
Yeah, he's got
it's
3, just
cute.
one isn't there.
Oh, all right.
Slacker.
Join the party. There he is. He's like, wait, I thought I had 3 of those.
It's one of those things. Zerg always makes Ravagers by the 3s because, well,
Yep.
tanks are a
And
prime
Liberators.
target. Yeah.
Yeah. 3 corrosive biles for a Liberator as well. Anti-air Queen is pretty fantastic against these Banshees. And so far, Rogue's got his base as he wants. He's expanding up the right side, and Cure making a bit of a push out, clearing out a bunch of this creep. But then coming up on the other side, killing 3 SCVs, harassing that mineral base. On the counterattack is Rogue. Is he coming? He's coming through.
Yeah, Rogue is maxed out. He's got 15
Yeah, Rogue, Ravager,
Banelings.
Lingbane, Hydra. Right.
Kier is going to have to hug his tanks. And just... it is not a comfortable spot as the Terran.
Yeah, Cure marching out. Stimming back against those Banelings. They're coming through, though. Tanks get left behind. Once the Banelings are gone, though, that's when the Zerg's got to fall back a little bit. And he does. 8 SCVs died. Orbital didn't die. 14 more Banelings in production, but they're not here yet. Plus, that Ground Carapace upgrade is done, so the Roaches are a little bit tankier. And not really anybody with a good concave, I would say. Both players have a nice kind of straight line looking at each other here. Cure says he's got this, but then 14 Banelings roll into his face. He has to leave the tanks behind. The tanks were doing a lot of work there, too, and now Cure's on the back foot again. 62 to 55 army supply. Rogue's got the better economy. He's going to a hive, but I think he's happy just to not lose a base there.
Yeah, that was a little touch and go for Rogue until the Banelings showed up. He's now got his melee upgrade finishing, which will benefit his Banelings and future Lings. Carapace is about to finish up, however, Kier's got 2/2 bio, pumping out as many units as he can.
Good snipe on that
quick
siege
moves.
tank. Yeah, boosting out there, trying to catch those dudes. Does do so. Rogue doesn't quite want to go through that tiny little choke to engage in that position. Pretty terrible idea, if you ask me.
Yeah, the gold base will eventually mine out for Kier. It's getting closer and closer to that, so we'll have to see how this game's going to progress. Rogue has already thought about that, as he does have a 5th base mining to the north. That's 6th base. It's a mighty long way for Kier to go to potentially hit it as well, which is nice for the Zerg. So Kier's just going to try and go for a big push at the front. And we'll see whether Rogue can hold on with those Hydras, the Banelings. Not all of his armies here, as he had a few units to the north. It's still looking pretty good for the Zerg, though, as a good concave is present for the Hydras. A few more Banelings rolling in. Rogue even using Transfuse in the middle of that fight, as the Zerg pushes the Terran back once again, but all the support for the Hydras is gone. Still, though, there's just enough Zerg to push on in.
Yeah, the Hydra's able to sit back there and do a ton of damage while the Lings and the Banelings kind of kept everybody busy there. That's why the Hydroling Bane is so good, because there's that buffer for the Hydra is just to pour so much damage into the bio. Really good against the Marauders. Pretty good against the Marines, too, as long as something else is keeping the Hydras from taking damage. So army value is about the same. Rogue continuing to have what he needs. He's got a Lurker, a Den on the way. 4 Banelings, +2 missile attack. The Terran's got more tanks, more Marines, more Marauders, and more medevacs. What a crazy back and forth this game has been.
It really is, but Rogue is looking to push once again. Kills the SCVs at the gold base. That is a huge chunk of the income for Cure gone.
And the orbital gets sniped.
Yeah, getting the orbital is huge, and as far as this game's concerned, things are looking better for the Zerg as time goes on. Rogue has the extra bases. He's got 2-3 upgrades on the way, whereas Kier has only now just fired up his +3 attack very late compared to the timing of his 2-2 finishing up. He doesn't have enough, it seems. Rogue is probably going to clean this up as the Hydras take down the tank, a few Banelings rolling forward. Kier's really fighting to the limit with this bio that he's got. He's still producing as many units as his now almost mined out 3 bases will allow him.
Knocking down those rocks to, I don't know, close off a basic attack path there that Rogue could do with the counterattack. He's not making any lurkers, even though the lurker den is done here. He's not making Adrenal, even though the hive is done. He doesn't feel safe enough to do so, I guess, making 16 lings, 12 banelings, and waiting for that +2 missile attack to finish here.
Yeah, Rogue is really doing everything he can behind this, but he's got to deal with the push. That Kier has just constantly been mustering with this bio.
The medevacs keep getting murdered, though, and the way to defeat this is definitely killing medevacs. The fewer of them there are, the worse it is for Cure's position. He's down 142 to 108 supply. More Hydras, more Lings, more Banes. Missile attack level 2 is finally done after that battle finishes, but another one will be forthcoming. Rogue doing a bit of a counterattack or a scout up the left side to see if Cure has any sneaky bases he doesn't know about, and he doesn't. Cure just cannot make as many inroads in here as he wants. Rogue's getting that Adrenal for the Lings. That's going to be a massive, massive get for him, too.
Yeah, things have just slowly been getting worse for Kier. He's trying to land his orbital command from his natural at the gold just to keep this party going. However, it's a very exposed location and it may actually die. SCVs are repairing that. It's soaking a lot of damage. Rogue will get it, though, and he's got the game. GG.
He does. Man, 15 medevacs killed in that game. That is one of the advantages of the Hydras added to your composition is they're good at killing the medevacs that are so important to this. So well done, man. A very traditional game, a very normal game for these two. Not a 2-base all-in, not proxy racks, not a crazy late game with 35 overseers, just a regular darn TvZ here on El Dorado. Who saw that coming? Not me.
Yeah.
Anyway, GG says Omicron, GG say us. We got a game 5 coming next. Let's go.
That really was close between those two. Like, just a constant fight of bio versus Hydras and Banelings, so yeah, great match.
Fantastic match. Can't ask for more. That was a lot of fun. Great back and forth. And like you said, Cure was just dying slowly. It wasn't one huge attack that killed him. It was just every attack killed a few more medevacs, a couple better trades for Rogue there as Marauders kept getting picked off, and at the end of the day, just not enough left there. So GG. Let's go into game number 5. It's going to be on Amygdala, map of the slowly losing health biological rocks, I guess you can call them.
Why the map authors didn't just call it that.
Yeah, right? Isn't that a good name? It really rolls off the tongue.
Everyone would know what map you're talking about when you say that.
Right.
Okay, here we have, in the bottom left, Liquid Cure.
And on the top right, it's Rogue. I'm glad to see both players are playing very well here to give us a game 5. Always very fun in these first series.
Yeah, I honestly didn't expect a 2-2 series between these two. I thought it was going to be form dependent, and the player with the better form at the minute was gonna 3-0 basically. And no, that is not the case.
Not even close.
Yeah, thanks so much to everyone for tuning into this event. If you happen to have Twitter or Discord or whatever, go ahead and share the event. If you see us posting them, it's appreciated to help spread the good word. of these matches. If you see the Reddit post, give it an upvote, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Share links to the stream on your social media platforms. There they are. There are our biological losing health on their own rocks. Better name than debris. This is not what this is. This is not debris.
Yeah, no, this isn't some loose construction material. This is...
No, this is like the dying corpse of a Zerg hybrid morphing alien or something.
Yeah, it's like what's left of the Overmind after Tassadar crashed a ship into it.
Yeah. It's exactly what it is. And it's dying slowly because the Garanthrothor crashed into it. Perfect. Got lore answers, and it explains why it looks that way too.
Shout out to you for remembering the name of that ship.
I'm a Brood War guy. I know a lot. I know it because it's hard to say.
The Garanthathor.
I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to wrap my tongue around Garanthrothor. I'm not even sure if that's right.
I like how the Protoss went with a simpler name for their next ship, the Spear of Adun.
Yeah, that's so much better. Joel Ming says, those are growths preventing the Protoss from evacuating Ire. That's a pretty hectic mission. I don't think I'd ever noticed that before, Joel Ming. That's cool.
I gotta replay
the campaign.
Yeah, I do too.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I was, I can't remember what mission or what someone was talking about when I was like, oh, I need to replay the campaign, but there's so much in it.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. They don't it's nice they don't have to care about balance in the campaign. You can just do crazy stuff, and the crazy stuff is great.
Yep, and then you get a pretty cool story along with it.
It's okay. I don't know. I'm still grumpy about the fact that, like, Kerrigan can murder billions of people, including Phoenix, like, including all of Raynor's friends.
Yeah.
And then Zeratul shows up and he's like, she's important to saving the galaxy. And he's like, all right, I guess I'll save her. Just like, really? We had to do that? We didn't have to do that.
Yeah, they definitely didn't have to do that. But I guess they had their established characters for the IP and they didn't want to make any changes at that point. So they're like...
I know, but you had Brood War Kerrigan. You had Queen Bitch of the Universe. Like, she's awesome. Just you can fight her in StarCraft 2. It's fine. You didn't have to introduce Amon. Nobody cares about Amon.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So just do 3 campaigns of fighting infested Kerrigan and then kill her at the end. And that's all anybody wanted. It was not that hard. I don't know why they decided to change it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they just couldn't resist making Kerrigan a good guy.
Yeah, I know. Probably it. Like, everyone likes a redeemed bad guy. It's like, she's pretty bad.
That's pretty...
She killed more people than Hitler did. So...
Yeah, it's like, would you...
What's your line exactly if you think Kerrigan's redeemable? Ugh. Anyway, it's not a proxy. That's cool. We're just doing Hellion shenanigans. It's all good. Rogue's got a third base rolling. Got a lair coming up, getting spores for Banshees at about 5 minutes, which is good, because Banshee Cloak is finishing up in 12 seconds.
Yeah, as this Banshee rolls on in towards the natural of Rogue.
Yeah, Queen damage on Banshee is good, but not good. Oh, but not good enough to kill it that fast, unfortunately. There you go. Spore comes up. Detection more important there than the anti-air.
Great targeting by Kier to get the drones that he could on his way out.
I like that you can hear the Banshee like sound if you're close to one, and then the music's quiet.
Yeah.
Or there's nothing attacking. But yeah, it's pretty neat. Again, that's the sound design. Ah, bit of a run by Yellow Hellions getting into the main base.
That queen really tries. Gosh. She just wasn't quite thick enough to block it.
Needs to start eating more donuts so she can get fat enough to block that ramp. And oh my gosh, 8 drones, 9 drones, 10 drones down. These Hellions are not making it home. They do not care. 16 drones, 17 drones, and there are still like 5 or 6 Hellions running around here. The Banshees are going to come and maybe help them fight too. 2 more drones get caught. Oh no, I'm trying to go back to
dear.
work. It's not safe enough to go back to work.
No.
Yeah, this is some of the most effective Hellion harass we have seen in a hot minute against Rogue. 22 drones down. Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's Rogue. He can recover from this, but by golly, that hurts.
It definitely does hurt. Like, a part of me wants to be like, well, Cure made 8 Hellions for that, but it's like, he got 26 drones. That is more than enough to justify that. And yeah, Rogue will be playing from a little bit further behind than he'd like.
Goodness gracious. All right, so it's I mean, Rogue's at 72 workers. It's not like he's at 10 after that. So recovering is nice.
Yeah, and it's amygdala, so he's got a bit of distance. Like,
Yeah.
memes aside, 8 Hellions does mean the Terran's follow-up is a little bit later than like if he got damage done with 4 or 6 Hellions.
Oh, don't lose the Banshees. Oh, lost one of the
Yeah,
Banshees.
that's unfortunate against the Roach Man.
Yeah, Hydroden coming in. Hive getting thrown up here too. That +1 ground Carapace finishing up. Should be ready to go when this drop gets across the map here from Cure. Combat Shield timing attack there too from Cure. Let's see what he can do here. Roach Ravager chasing. There you go. Ground Carapace level 1 finishing up in 5 seconds with missile attack. So 1-1 done for the Roaches and Ravagers now. Liking that.
And he's already pumping out these Hydras.
Oh, forced to cancel on a base on the right side with that little attack. Nicely done, Cure. Overlord sniped. Roach Warren getting target fired. He can get rid of centrifugal hooks here if he targets that Baneling Nest, which I think he might. Well, Roach Warren. One of the things. Kill one of the things. There you go. Gets the Roach Warren. And boosts out of there as the Hydras and Queens start joining that party too. Never a good place to be when the Hydras and Lings on the creep with those Queens start hacking away at you.
Yeah, amidst all the chaos, Rogue hasn't got a chance to fire up his 2-2. He starts 1-2 now, so he'll have extra melee damage for Lings and potential Banelings down the line. As he does fire up 30 of those Lings, he may be looking for a Ling counterattack, as Amygdala is a bit of an open map for that. Zerg will still have to hold on, and Kier has really bulked up now, moving across the map with these tanks, with these Marines, Marauders, Medivacs, everything a Terran would want to make a good push happen. So the Zerg is on the back foot right now.
Yeah, it definitely is. He's got those upgrades that he needs. He's got 27 Banelings morphing back here. That tank count's a little intimidating, and there are no Vipers.
Oh,
So he just has to charge in here, doing his best. Of course, we abandon the tanks once the push-in happens. So 2 of them die immediately. Just getting those 2 off the front lines is pretty good. But, man, Cure's got a lot of stuff here. God, the Baneling's just connecting on almost nothing.
Yeah, wow.